Hey guys, welcome to Algebra 2. This is section 1.1 of your notes. This is Mr. Grice from the Miss Carranza and Mr. Grice tag team. Today we're going to be talking about fractions. Checking out our learning targets. First thing is we want to make sure you know what a fraction represents, how to do one in lowest terms, and mixed numbers as improper fractions. Okay, now a fraction. Whenever you're talking about a fraction, you're talking about a part over the whole. Okay. Now the key thing is they're talking about A and B right here. A is the top, B is the bottom. B cannot equal 0 because can you take a number, can you have 5 parts out of 0? Can you have 5 out of nothing? No. Okay, that cannot happen. So whenever you're talking about a fraction, the bottom or the denominator cannot equal 0. Okay, so when we're talking about creating a fraction, it's a part out of a whole. For part A, you have 2 pieces out of a combined 3. Okay, for B, you have 1, 2, 3 out of 4. Okay, and that's how we write fractions. It's always the part of something over the whole. Okay, now before we start writing fractions in lowest terms, we need to write down terms to review factors. Okay, now what are factors? They are natural numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4, and they keep going on that are multiplied together. Okay, so when we talk about listing the factors, I want to know what numbers multiply to get to 32. Okay, so 1 times 32 equals 32. 2 times 16, and 4 times 8. Now, if you're having trouble with this, you can pull out a multiplication chart. Those are numbers that it's going to help you out. Okay? It's always 1 and the number. And then you kind of need to look through to figure out what other numbers multiply to get that number. Okay? And the last one, 19, is only 1 and 19. Now, if you notice, we've got the little asterisks right there. That's called a prime number. Okay? A prime number is when only 1 and the number are the factors. Okay? These other two are called composite numbers because they have multiple factors. Okay? Now, when we are writing a fraction in lowest terms, that's when the numerator and the denominator have no common factors. Okay? So when we break down the numbers, we want to break them down into prime factors. And we're going to do that using a factor tree. Some of you guys might have seen this before when you take a number and you start breaking it down. Okay? So what numbers multiply to get to 32? And the key thing right here is we do not use the number 1. Okay? So we said the numbers 4 times 8. Okay? Well, what breakdown's 4? Well, to get 4, we multiply 2 times 2. And we get to 2, that's a prime number. Okay? 8, what do you multiply to get 8? and that's 2 times 4. 2 is a prime number. What multiplies to get to 4? 2 times 2. And so when we break this down, the prime factorization of 32 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay? So whenever we're doing a factor tree, we are breaking down into prime numbers. Okay? All right, let's flip it over. Write the following numbers in lowest terms. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to break down 14 and 16. So what two numbers multiply to get to 14? 2 times 7. Okay, and if we do a prime factorization real quick, 16 is, oh, go back. Let's move that. 16 is 4 times 4, 2 times 2, 2 times 2. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Now, what we can do is we can cross out, if something's on the top, we can cross it out on the bottom. Okay? And so we're left with 7 on the top, and 2 times 2 times 2, what's that? Hopefully you're not saying 6. Good, it's 8. Okay. Now let's look at 18 and 36. Now, if you break down 18, 18 breaks down to 9 times 2. 36 breaks down to 6 and 6. Oh, and we forgot. 9 is 3 times 3. So 18 is 2 times 3 times 3. 6 is 2 times 3. 2 times 3. You write it all down, and then we start to cross off. There's a 2, there's a 2, there's a 3, there's a 3. Hey, all we're left with is a 2. What goes up on the numerator? Anytime anything is left, everything gets crossed out, there's always a 1. Okay? Now, some of you guys might have noticed right away that if you take 18 and 36, that you can divide those. If you know how to do that, you can. Okay? All right. Now, the last ones that we're going to do, let's take a look at E. Okay? E is one of those ones with an asterisk because that's an improper fraction. That's when the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Okay? Now, how can we break down 48? Let's just pick two numbers right away. The first two numbers that I think of when I see 48 are 6 and 8. And the first two numbers I think of about 42 is 6 and 7. Okay? Now, we can cross out the 6's, and now we're left with just 8 over 7. And that's our final answer. So there are multiple ways that we can do these problems, like in problem A, where we broke everything down to prime factorization. In C, we realized you can divide it by 18 right away. In E, we broke it up and we can cross out the 6's. There are multiple ways to do these problems. And that's one of the nice things about this. Whichever way works best for you is how you can do it. Okay. Now, the last thing we're going to cover today is writing mixed numbers as improper fractions. Our directions right here at the very bottom says, remember, multiply the denominator and the whole number, then add the numerator. Rewrite the result sum over the original denominator. Now you guys might be thinking, be like, what are they talking about? So in class we talked about the checkmark method. And that's when we start down and go up. So what you're going to do is we are going to fill in the blanks. And these colors are going to help us out. Okay? You're going to take the whole number times the denominator and add the numerator. Okay, order of operations, 10 times 5 is 10. Plus 4 gives us 14 over 5. And that's it. And this same equation works for every single problem. Okay? Let's do F. Okay? The whole number is 9. The denominator is 7. And the numerator is 3. 9 times 7 gives us 63. And 63 plus 3 is 66. And that's it. Okay, guys, that's it for chapter 1.1 for Algebra 2. Remember, if you have any questions, come in and see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks.